Albert Einstein was right when he predicted that we would never be able to see the edge of the universe. The James Webb Space Telescope, JWST, has now observed a void in the extremely early universe that could confirm this prediction. But what are we really seeing here? Is it really a void, and could it be the beginning of the universe? Scientists may have discovered a shocking fact. A strange void at the beginning of time may now confirm a remarkable prediction by Albert Einstein. Imagine how, 100 years ago, scientists slowly began to look beyond the edges of the Milky Way. What they saw astonished them. At first, it was just hazy nebulae, but then it became clear that these nebulae were other galaxies. First, the small and large Magellanic Clouds became visible, then the Andromeda Galaxy, and finally, the shocked scientists realized how many more galaxies there were. Based on these findings, ideas such as the evolution of galaxies and the infinity of the universe were born. Then, Edwin Hubble observed that distant galaxies were moving away from us, and the idea of expansion was born. Shortly afterward, the Belgian Georges Lemaitre came up with the Big Bang theory. This all took place slightly after the time when Albert Einstein presented his theories of relativity. Many of the researchers' basically theoretical predictions, which had been made within the 1910s and 20s, had been showed with the aid of the new discoveries. However, Einstein turned into unsure for the duration of his existence whether the universe truly had a starting and end quit, although he fundamentally generalized the Big Bang theory. Nevertheless, Einstein was always positive about every other interesting query. Although the universe did have a beginning and end give up, he changed into positive that we might never be capable of see this beginning and stop, regardless of how top our telescopes have been. How did Einstein come up with this loopy idea, and what does it need to do with the void found by the James Webb Space Telescope? Einstein was truly one of the maximum critical physicists of the 20th century, and he made many predictions which might be nonetheless cornerstones of cutting-edge technology nowadays. One profound attention became the aforementioned prediction that we could in no way immediately have a look at absolutely the beginning of the universe. Einstein gave two exciting motives for this. Firstly, the concept of the Big Bang and different theories based totally on it postulated that there has been no mild for loads of lots of years straight away after the Big Bang. Today, scientists call this epoch the Dark Ages. So, how should we see a point in time or an event with telescopes while there has been no light? There are even a few thrilling solutions to this question these days, together with radio telescopes. These do no longer see but pay attention. However, researchers are pretty positive that the Big Bang became now not a loud enlargement but occurred in whole silence. Basically, the gap in which an audible explosion could have taken area did no longer even exist at the time of the Big Bang. Space itself handiest got here into being with the Big Bang and turned into formed as a consequence of this occasion. Radio telescopes locate waves that are typically a ways from the audible sound spectrum. Space hardly conducts any sound, and only some other waves penetrate the interstellar medium, which can be made audible the usage of present-day era. We would, consequently, not honestly be capable of hear the presumably silent starting of the universe. We found the cosmic heritage radiation returned inside the 1960s and featured due to the fact that MAP did very well. This radiation is taken into consideration to be an aftereffect of the Big Bang, and plenty proof for the Big Bang has been derived from it. However, the microwave background has in no way led us without delay to the Big Bang, so here too, we reputedly haven't any manner of detecting or proving absolutely the beginning or Big Bang. However, Einstein became additionally of the opinion for some other reason that we can in no way see all the manner to the start or fringe of the universe. He believed that the beginning could flow further and similarly far from us due to the growth and extension of the universe and might, consequently, be out of our variety of vision, so to speak. Albert Einstein also believed at instances in a curvature of all space. This approach that the start line could also be behind a sort of horizon that might for all time difficult to understand our view. Now imagine once more that this turned into at a time when the pleasant telescopes were handiest capable of blurring neighboring galaxies. Today, we understand of the life of hundreds of thousands of galaxies in a universe teeming with galaxies, increasing so much and getting bigger and bigger, it may be really difficult to peer some distance at all. But that is not true. Although our cosmos is so rich, the areas between the galaxies and galaxy clusters are so big that we will now see 13.6 billion years away with our telescopes. That would be very near the Big Bang, and with the James Webb Space Telescope we're already quite rattling near. I'm positive you've heard that the JWST has determined an exceptionally massive number of very, very vintage galaxies that now even name the Big Bang into query. But did you furthermore MGHT know that the JWST has located an odd void that could verify Albert Einstein's prediction of the non-observability of absolutely the beginning? Absolute voids are mysterious areas inside the universe which might be so empty that they virtually contradict the principle of relativity. But how can or not it's that they verify Einstein's concept about the invisibility of the start? This is to start with explained with the aid of the reality that the vacancy become thought to be an illustration of the Dark Ages, in which there has been not a lot, at first, at the least no stars and no galaxies. Some researchers believed that the discovery had at the least confirmed the life of this epoch. But then got here the shock. The darkness grew to become out to be an exceedingly distant void. We additionally understand of nearer and more recent voids. These voids already pose puzzles. However, in the extremely early universe, voids are once again scientific impossibilities. They do now not healthy into the idea of the homogeneity of the universe, that is without delay linked to the concept of the Big Bang or growth. Voids are too huge and too atypical. They've an inhomogeneous individual and contradict some of the principles of our cosmology. A void does not honestly verify Albert Einstein's prediction. However, the Webb telescope appears to confirm the view of the amazing scientist in every other manner. The telescope has thus far determined no trace of a beginning or an early level of the universe. The photos of the allegedly extremely early universe handiest show structures and galaxies that do not seem lot special from those we know from the universe we will study greater carefully. The question now arises as to whether a mysterious void could have been the beginning of the universe. We can't completely rule this out due to the fact, in the long run, we by no means realize what voids truly are. These days, we also must admit that we do now not recognize how the universe certainly commenced. Voids are probably empty, but we don't know that for positive either. It's feasible that they incorporate some kind of count number that we do not know about, but imagine dark galaxies. Voids truly are sometimes interpreted as a few kind of parallel worlds, and some scientists see them as scar tissue from the collision of universes in the multiverse. Other loopy theories claim that aliens darken the galaxies in a void to reap electricity. So, you can already see that these mysterious voids challenge our scientists and cause the craziest theories. Of route, it can be that our universe changed into created in a massive void. The mere fact that we cannot prove the opposite reinforces such an concept. That leaves the query of how rely turned into created. We have already pointed out the nothingness from which the universe is said to have emerged. If that changed into absolutely the start line, how should we examine it? After all, it became nothing and consequently now not detectable for us. A singularity is a point at which all forces are both so condensed that our dimensions of value and sizes fail, or the whole thing that exists is focused into this one factor. The point consisted of a fluctuation of possibilities that existed in a state of whole equilibrium. A formerly unknown event is said to have disturbed this standstill at one point, and creation started out. From this tiny point, the entirety that we know and can see today came into being. This method no less than the statistics for you and me, all life on this earth, every megastar, and every exoplanet turned into contained in this tiny dot of nothing. The question of the way an infinitesimally small dot of nothing can include the whole lot is one of the awesome mysteries of technological know-how, and it is currently unclear whether we can ever be capable of clear up this puzzle. We discover those mysterious singularities in another vicinity inside the universe, particularly inside the middle of black holes. These, in flip, are located on the middle of quite a great deal each recognized galaxy. Black holes are what stay while stars of a sure size explode. At least that is what scientists expect. No one has ever been in the center of a black hole, and as we have now discussed, we have hardly ever any way of seeing absolutely the starting point of the universe, if it existed at all. Everything is based totally on calculations that made experience till the James Webb Space Telescope discovered something one of a kind from what our theories postulated. The Webb telescope shows that the universe need to be a lot older than we assumed, or that its nature is pretty special from what all our calculations expected. Black holes also are one of the exquisite mysteries